Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn to Thrive. This is episode 4 and today's lesson is verb plus infinitive. In our previous lessons, we have learned about gerunds as subjects and objects, infinitives as subject and objects, and verbs that are followed by gerunds. But there is one question English learners always ask. Should I use a gerund or an infinitive after a verb? Today we will answer that question by looking at three important groups of verbs. Verbs followed by infinitives, second verbs that can take both gerunds and infinitives, third verbs whose meaning changes depending on whether we use a gerund or an infinitive. Let's get started. First pattern, verb followed by infinitives, verb plus to plus base form of verb. Want, decide, plan, hope, promise, agree, refuse. All these verbs followed by infinitive. Want to learn, decide to live, plan to travel, hope to succeed, promise to help, agree to join, refuse to answer. For example, I want to learn English. She decided to study medicine. They plan to visit Japan next year. We hope to see you soon. He promised to call me. But we have to remember one thing. After these verbs, we don't use a gerund. For example, I want learning English. Wrong. I want to learn English. This is correct. I plan reading an English book every day. I plan to read an English book every day. Okay? Now let's look at some verbs that can be followed by either a gerund or an infinitive, like love, hate, start, begin, continue, prefer. For example, I like reading. Look, I like reading, I like to read. Both are correct sentence. So we can use gerund or infinitive, okay, with the like. She loves dancing. She loves to dance. They started working. They started to work. I hate waiting. I hate to wait in long queues. I prefer walking to work. I prefer to walk to work. We began discussing the issue. We began to discuss the issue. She continued working after lunch. She continued to work after lunch. Both are correct. In most situations, there is little no difference in meaning. So both patterns are correct. So we can use either a gerund or an infinitive after these verbs. Now we come to the most important part of today's lesson. Some verbs can take both a gerund and an infinitive, but the meaning changes. Look, stop. If we use stop plus gerund, the meaning is quit an activity. But if we use stop plus infinitives, the meaning is pause another activity in order to do something. For example, I stopped smoking means I quit smoking. I stopped to smoke means I stopped what I was doing so that I could smoke. Visual contrast. I stopped smoking means quit forever. I stopped to smoke means pause another activity. So be careful. Remember. Same thing with the remember. If we use remember plus gerund, It means recall a past action. If we use remember plus infinitive, the meaning is not forget a future action. For example, I remember meeting her means I have a memory of meeting her. Remember to lock the door means don't forget to lock the door. Quick comparison. Past memory, remember doing. Future duty, remember to do. Forget. Forget plus gerund means forget a past experience. Forget plus infinitive means fail to do something. For example, I will never forget visiting Paris means the memory remains. He forgot to call me, meaning he didn't call. Quick comparison. Past experience, forget doing. Mixed action, forget to do. Try. Try plus gerund. If we use try plus gerund, then the meaning is experiment. If we use try plus infinitive, meaning is make an effort. Examples: try restarting your computer means do it as an experiment to solve the problem. I am trying to learn Spanish means I am making an effort. Experiment means try doing, effort means try to do. Okay? So this is summary table. You can pause it and read carefully. If you have final review, let's review today's lesson. Some verbs are followed by infinitives. Want, decide, plan, hope, promise. And some verbs can take both with little change in meanings, like love, start, begin, continue. And the third one, some verbs change meaning depending on whether we use a gerund or an infinitive. Stop, remember, forget, and try. If you have watched my previous videos on gerunds and infinitives, this lesson complete the picture. Gerunds as subject and object, infinitives as subject and objects, verbs followed by gerunds, verbs followed by infinitives, verbs that take both forms, verbs whose meaning changes. So practice these patterns in your own sentence and you will sound much more natural in English. See you in the next lesson. Happy learning!